Many teams use a definition of ready to check if product backlog items are ready for sprint. Oftentimes, you hear the acronym INVEST from Bill Wake used as part of the checklist. PBIs are considered ready when they're independent, negotiable, valuable, estimable, because estimatable is not a word, small, and testable. Whenever teams ask if I recommend using definition of ready, I often respond, it might be a good practice to get you started, but don't get hooked on it. Don't get attached to it. And, uh, you know, I used to just always say, no, don't use it. But I've learned that there can be value in establishing a definition of ready for inexperienced teams to help them make sure that their work is organized better, to make sure they have the right level of detail in the work that they're trying to do. So I thought I'd go through and give you some of the advantages and disadvantages of definition of ready, and we can have that conversation here. So from the advantage perspective, it could be used as a conversation starter between the team and potentially with their stakeholders. And when I say a team, I'm talking about within the team, right? And then with their stakeholders as well. It can improve the quality and clarity of product backlog items and improve the quality of the product backlog in general if you apply it correctly. It can also prevent confusion and false assumptions about what actually needs to be done. So I think initially when we set it up, it's got some good things and people saying, wow, those are all good benefits. However, here we go. There are disadvantages. Just like any good thing, there's good and bad, right? So it can become a contract between the developers and the product owner, and that's not good. Developers start to refuse to add items to the sprint backlog if they're not 100% in compliance with the definition of ready, and that is a problem. That's problematic. You can't live and die by that sword. You can't die on that hill, right? You need to make sure if you're a developer, even if it's not perfectly ready, that you do the best you can and that you make adjustments as needed. You'll add another sequential phase gate in your workflow if you use definition of ready. It contradicts the whole point of empiricism, empirical process control, which is, simply, to inspect, adapt, and be transparent. In complexity, you can't predict everything up front. It's not even a thing. You can't always predict the exact work that'll need to be done. And that's okay. It's fine. If you still need to figure out some details during a sprint, do it. Focus on flow. Validate assumptions and ideas while doing the work. It's totally worth it. Okay, last one. Before you know it, you have a ready team that makes items ready for the Scrum team. And then the Scrum team will have a done team, which will make it ready for testing. And that kind of feels like waterfall, doesn't it? Look, I'm not trying to make fun of people, but the definition of ready is always part of Scrum in a form of backlog refinement. The big difference, that definition of ready is a static checklist that needs to be conformed to before the sprint, while refinement is an ongoing activity for all the items in the product backlog and the sprint backlog. An ongoing activity that involves the entire Scrum team to improve the quality of backlog items and create a shared understanding. So would I recommend setting up, establishing, or using a definition of ready? The answer, of course, is adult undergarments. It depends. It's a valuable practice for new teams. If you have a brand new team, go for it. It can be used as a good conversation starter to explore what ready really means, but don't get too attached. Like I said before, it's also good for outside stakeholders to have something to know what the expectations are that the team. But an interesting follow-up conversation to all of this could be, doesn't all this also apply to the definition of done as well? So if you think about it, definition of done is baked into the backlog, and definition of ready should be too. So I know there's a lot more pros and cons in that, but I tried to limit myself to just a few because I wanted to keep this short and sweet. What I can tell you is definition of ready is a powerful tool if used appropriately, but definition of ready could also easily be abused, so tread lightly. That's going to do it for this episode. I know, crazy, right? Can't make up my mind. But if you want to have a topic of your choice discussed on the Daily Stand-Up Podcast, feel free to reach out to us at learnmore@agiledad.com. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.